25, we are going to go into a very, very brief meditation, opening meditation, and then we will drop right into the channeling. So let's go ahead and take a few moments to drop into this present moment more fully, more completely. Bring yourself into a nice comfortable posture that you can be in for a few moments. And just take that moment to feel your existence, your life, the energy that animates your body. Pulling out of the thinking mind and dropping into the feeling body. Allowing ourselves to appreciate this moment that we share in time and space. This unique moment, never to happen again, never to be duplicated again. Precious and unique, as each being is precious and unique. Feeling that uniqueness of who we are, showing up in this unique moment, to be here, to be now. Good day to you. We welcome you to the realms of light, where the vast majorities of who you are also exists. We welcome you to these realms of light from where your physical lives, your physical personalities, and your entire physical worlds also spring. We are most exceedingly glad and appreciative that you are here to participate in this co-creation of the raising of frequency, the raising of vibration, by the introduction of these extra dimensional ideas and concepts into your world of time and space. For each time that we make these connections, of course, we are helping to facilitate the connections that you all do have to your own higher minds. And we are but a reflection of that connection that you already share. And we are thusly aiding and assisting in creating a tunnel, a bridge, a link between each individual that hears this transmission and their own higher minds. Thusly, as you increase that channel of communication, you will find your so-called normal day-to-day living punctuated by seemingly extraordinary insights and events, because you will be channeling these higher dimensional frequencies and expanding your third dimensional, your third density, shall we say, personality states with the light of the higher minds that you are experiencing yourselves within. For you see, your physical personality structure and your time-space reality is but a tiny little bubble, a bubble reality, immersed within and supported by the larger field of the higher mind. So you, in actuality, exist within a larger sphere of yourself. And you have, up to this time, for many eons, decades, generations, centuries, millennia, created this bubble to be a very rigidized, crystallized structure whereby it appears as if you are disconnected from your higher mind, your intelligence that exists in a different kind of order, a more synchronous, interconnected order, so that you can experience yourself as a finite being, as a highly, highly focused and individualized consciousness. And you are now shifting into the age of awakening, whereby that bubble reality that you find yourself so encased within is beginning to soften a little bit, to become a little bit more permeable to extra-dimensional information, awarenesses, so that rigidized, crystallized bubble is allowing not only this incredible bridge, link, and connection to your higher minds, but by extension also to a variety of extra-dimensional fields within which your higher mind, spirit, soul, oversoul exist within. Thusly, your lives are increasingly capable and increasingly, shall we say, almost interrupted by experiences that are much more extraordinary. And when we say extraordinary, we mean, according to the rigid definitions of third density as you have come to know it to be, it will seem magical, it will seem extraordinary, beyond the ordinary. However, the paradox of all of this is that these extra-dimensional abilities are your birthright. They are who you are. There's nothing extra about them. It is simply extra in the sense of coming from beyond this very limited definition of self that you have created within this little tiny little bubble. Now, as this bubble breaks down, so to speak, of course you will expand your consciousness into the nature of the limiting matrices themselves. For your consciousness will, in a manner of speaking, expand and stretch these limitations that have previously defined you. Now, some of you, as you say in your world, experience some growing pains as a result from time to time, as you experience periods of expansion and then periods of disillusionment, feeling like you've been somehow perhaps let down. And these are those moments where your consciousness is stretching these limitations and you are realizing that you have bought into a much more severely limited version of yourself than needs be. And that can bring about a sense of disillusionment, a sense of, well, having one pulled over on you, shall we say, being hoodwinked a little bit by these negative belief matrices. But this is all part of the adventure. It is not an interruption in it. For you must pass through this bubble consciously. Thusly, you must make conscious all that has been limiting you so that you can expand, because that is the nature of consciousness expansion. You will become more conscious. You will become more conscious of the negativity that limits you, as well as the potentialities, the promise, if you will, allow us to use one of your words, the promise of greater consciousness, greater expansion. So you are on this precipice of this massive transformation that is occurring on your planet. And thusly you are oscillating now very much between the peaks, whereby you sense the incredible potential of who you truly are, and at the same time the valleys where you feel the restraints, the shackles, the tethers to the old consciousness. Now, many in the world are seeking to conserve the old ways. Therefore, in your civilization, you will find a variety of social and political movements that aim to restrain the expansion because of fear of what that will bring. And within yourselves, you will find your own resistances, your own attempts to conserve the old ways because you are feeling comfortable in that old self-definition and feeling fear of the expansion. What would happen if we break down these old rules that conserve the old structure. And what will happen if we simply allow ourselves to fall into, to joyfully expand into the newness? So you'll find these push and pull experiences not only within yourselves, but within the greater society at large. Now, this is all part of the game. This is all part of the play. There is no such thing as failure. It is all about the experience. So if you find yourselves going up and down on these waves, these oscillations of consciousness, this back and forth, shall we say, this little bit of tug of war between the old and the new, recognize that this is the experience that you signed up for. You cannot surf on a perfectly clear and stable lake. You must have some waves to be able to ride the waves, to ride the momentum, to experience the up and down. So do not beat yourselves up when you feel yourself in the down cycle, or when you feel yourself tapping into resistance to change, or fear of change, or fear of the new. When you attempt to conserve the old patterns within yourself and within the greater society at large. For it is all a play. And in spirit, you already are expanded. You already are enlightened. You already are connected. And the point of this experience is to move through an arc of transformation over space-time from forgetfulness to remembrance. And all the trials and tribulations and challenges that come up as a result of that. You are in your own story, weaving your own story together through this great arc of change and transformation. For you personally as an individuated being, but also as a civilization. You get to play a role in this. And the roles are freely available. Just like a casting agency, you can have the role of resisting the change. You can have the role of instigating the change, sparking the change, taking care of the movement once it begins to change, philosophizing about the change. So all of these roles are available, and you will all play these roles from time to time, sometimes shifting hats and shifting costumes as you move from day to day and age to age. So give yourself the leeway to experience it as it is, without attempting to overlay some kind of idea of how it's supposed to be, or the rate of change. Many of you walk around thinking things such as, I should be further along by now. The world should be further along by now. Why is there so much negativity if we are ascending? And of course, this is all there because it's all part of the play. Everyone gets to play their role, and every role within all that is cherished as a valid experience. So rather than invalidating the viewpoints of others, or even invalidating yourselves for having resistance, and sometimes beating yourselves up for moving too quickly towards the expansion, because within yourselves you do have those resistive parts of your personality that want to conserve the way things are within your own life. And that is all well and good. It is all about integration, and that means embracing all parts of you. Those parts that want to expand, those parts that want to contract and conserve the way things are. And it is through integration and through embracing that you will find the polarities within your own personalities coming into a wholeness, a synchronization. For you are in a realm that, through nature, exemplifies this. All around you, you have your darkness, you have your light. You have your day, you have your night, you have your summer, you have your winter. You have your full moon, you have your new moon. and so on. You have all these cycles within nature, and so allow yourselves to ride these cycles, to ride these waves, to ride these oscillations, and to recognize them as part of the whole. You have symbols upon your world, such as the infinity symbol, the yin and yang symbol. Meditating upon these can also help you to see that everything is part of one whole. And so thusly it is not right or left, up or down, dark or light. Integration takes everything into account and values all of that which you experience, the dark and the light, up and down, the right and the left, the nighttime and the daytime, expansion and contraction. All of these are part of the play, part of the adventure. And there is a part of you that is in fifth density and beyond in spirit form, appreciating the variety, the contrast, and experiencing each facet of the contrast, facet by facet, whereas that version of you observes the totality and sees that it is all connected and it is all integrated. And as you rise in frequency, as you allow more of your higher mind to channel down through this conduit of communication, you will also come to the elevated or more integrated, shall we say, fourth density consciousness that begins to see more and more that it is all interconnected, interrelated, and interlinked. So use these symbols, the yin and the yang, the infinity, and so on. Find symbols that work for you, that help you to see that it is all connected and that you are all aspects of the one. For you see, a great story needs a good villain as well as the hero. So you need a little bit of contrast, a little bit of challenge, a little bit of challenge to have that sense of overcoming the challenge. And these need not be stories of great limitation and darkness as they have been for millennia upon your world. They can be stories of excited challenges. Challenges you can't wait to get your hands on because it is so exciting to break through. You get to write your own story in your own way, regardless of how much darkness your ancestors have experienced and what you have been taught and brought up to believe to be true. You get to create your own story in your own unique way. And as you shift to fourth density, you will come to appreciate your challenges and embrace those portions of your personality that are rebelling or holding on and conserving the way things are, attempting to stabilize and being afraid of change. All of these will become integrated and alchemized into a new consciousness of wholeness. And your world likewise will reflect that wholeness, whereby no human being nor entity, be it plant or animal or human or otherwise, will be left out of this matrix, for you will inherently sense the thread of connection that weaves all together. So thusly weave your personalities together, and you will, reflected outwardly in the world experience, the weaving together of all the seemingly disparate parts of humanity and nature, your planet, and thusly can you become an intergalactic civilization, one that is open to the stars, to travel and to expand beyond. For only through integration can you truly expand. And you are nearing the end of the age of fragmentation and compartmentalizations, where you sense yourselves as meaningless and separate fragments within a vast universe. As these threads of consciousness begin to weave together, you will recognize yourselves part of a much vaster intergalactic community. And through that integrative process, that bubble will expand beyond yourself to include your fellow human beings, beyond your human fellows to include the animals, the plants, the planet itself. and a variety of extra-dimensional and extraterrestrial consciousnesses as this bubble continues to expand even beyond the wholeness of your world to include other worlds and other civilizations. This bubble will continue to expand to include all of it, all the way to the great all that is. So enjoy the journey for where it is, enjoy yourself and appreciate yourself for where you are. Appreciate the polarities within yourselves, the darkness and the light, the left and the right, the up and the down, for it is all part of one great circle, one great infinity. And the gateway to experiencing more out there is to experience more of yourselves in there in an integrated way. Amalgamating and alchemizing your distinct personality parts into a cohesive whole that is much greater than the sum of all those parts, and certainly more synchronously working together, creating a unified field that expands. So that is our message for today. We very much hold the space for it to inspire you, to plant seeds within your lives, and to help you to grow and expand in new ways, into new horizons of yourselves. So we thank you very much for taking the time to be here, and we will now open it up for any particular questions that you might have. Of course, remember to unmute your technology to be able to transmit your question to us.
Hi, Illi.
Good day to you.
Thank you for being here. I'd like to ask you about the effect of telling lies to someone on purpose. Thank you.
Hey, very good question. Now, recognize to begin, we do not judge in the way that humanity is used to judging, for we see everything as part of the dance, part of the whole. So we do not look down upon any experience that you create, for all experiences are valid. Now, that being said, of course, the idea of lying, it really depends on a case-by-case basis, of course. But the idea usually is to hide something, and the question to ask oneself is why to veil a certain truth? Now, of course, you will discover fear, you will discover some beliefs behind and generating that fear. So the idea then is to ask, what are those beliefs? And ask yourself, what are you afraid will happen if you tell the truth? Some common ideas in your world are that you will not be loved, that you will be perhaps ostracized or ridiculed, that you will be somehow separated, that love will be withdrawn, that you will not be accepted as you are. So many on your world go about hiding the truth and presenting the lie. Now, the lie can be an entire lifespan. For many in your world move into certain careers that they believe will make them successful or will gain the love and approval of their parents and their siblings in civilization. And this can become the lie, when in fact, deep down they have certain passions, certain excitements that they are not fulfilling, the longing of their spirit, so to speak. And so living a lie, living a falsehood. So there are many layers and many aspects to this. But the general idea is it is a sense of fragmentation, compartmentalization, a creating of a certain kind of barrier whereby there is a separation between you, or shall we say, in neutral terms, the person that perpetuates the lie, and the fellows upon whom the lies are presented to or projected to. So the idea is one of fragmentation, compartmentalization. Of course, this means a lowering of frequency, because as we have used this idea of the frequency spectrum, the idea is that the higher you raise in frequency, the more integrated everything is, and the more you come from a place of feeling connected to all that is, thusly not needing the approval of others, and thusly presenting a more truer version of yourself as you raise your frequency, thusly not needing to cover oneself up. Now, that is the nature of the experience in this time-space that you're experiencing, even though it is dramatically and vastly changing, that many individuals have chosen to veil themselves in a variety of ways. And the lies even go to the point of lying to oneself, attempting to hide from certain truths, to deny certain truths, to project blame upon others. This is also a form of lying to oneself, thinking that others are responsible for what happens in your life. These are the variety of illusions and lies that operate to make third density the very interesting reality that it is. It is a valid reality. It is perfectly valid to experience oneself as separate and disconnected from the all that is. But that is also a lie. It is not the fundamental truth. You are always connected no matter what you choose to experience, even when you choose to experience disconnection. You cannot be truly disconnected. You can have, because you are infinitely loved, the experience of disconnection. That is a valid experience, but it is still part of all that is. But within that experience, you will find yourself very much separate from yourself and all that is. So we can, of course, go deeper into this if you wish. So it is up to you.
All right, thank you. That's all for now.
Very good, then. Let us shift into a little bit of a closing meditation, allowing ourselves to be here and present, to absorb these vibrations and connections. May they facilitate the opening within you to your own guidance, your own channel that connects you to your own higher mind. May you feel increasingly connected and increasingly able and capable of opening up this channel for yourself, and to receive the guidance that is always there and always being transmitted to you by and through your own higher mind. For you are never truly disconnected, even in the midst of the experience of severe disconnection. Recognize that it is but a play, and you are but an actor on the stage. And behind this great orchestration, this great play, you still know yourself as the actor. Even if you get caught up in your role just a little bit too much sometimes, to the point of forgetting that you are merely an actor. So always know that you have this channel within yourself. You are a whole being. We are but a reflection of that, as is any other spiritual teacher or channel or guide. We are but reflections of the guidance that you have within yourself, always available, always ready. So use the teachings, use the teachers, use that which is available. But let it remind you always that you have that within yourself. We appreciate very much your presence and your willingness to undergo so much limitation and darkness, and to seek the light, and to remember the light beings that you are. You're on a grand adventure. And you are very courageous for being where you are. So with that, then, we will give you whatever blessings are ours to give. We give freely. And we ask that you give yourselves the blessings that are yours to give for yourselves, for you are aspects of all that is. So appreciate yourselves as integral and vital parts of this grand symphony of creation, and appreciate the roles that you play, be they light or dark. Appreciate yourself no matter where you are, connected or feeling disconnected, living in the truth or living in the lie. Where you are, appreciate that, and that will begin to open that channel, that light, through that deep self-appreciation. For it is our play, and you are the actor who can snap out of it at any time or change the story as you prefer. For you do create your own reality. Thusly, with these vibrations, we will wish you a hearty, beautiful, loving, and a fond good day. And there we have it. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you in the next transmission.